Good afternoon, this is Lynx. Do you feel cheated? Stuck? Angry? Limited by this whole idea of light and love? Do you feel like it's not honest? Do you feel like it makes you feel judged? Do you feel like it limits you? I may have an answer why. This is a set of pictures. We'll just call these flashcards. It's a tarot deck, but we'll call them flashcards. On these flashcards are symbols. Lots of symbols. And I could get some books of symbols to add to those. There's just lots of symbols in the world. Our whole world is made up with symbols. We communicate through symbols. We are made up of symbols. Our whole day, our mind is grabbing onto symbols. There's symbols, symbols, symbols. This is, I like this one for this video, and I've got two of them here that I'm going to use for this video because we're going to use these as flashcards for all the stories that you've ever read that had all the characters that you ever encountered in your life. So all the stories that you read when you were a kid, all the kids that you met in school, all the people that you met at work, all the people that you fell in love with, that broke your heart, who, all those people who made you feel good, those people who were friends, they're all in here. All of the stories and all the old fairy tales throughout time they're in here somewhere. Okay? We've got everything from charity to, you know, the magician to time. Okay? And everyone in between. Now these are just the main characters. These are the minor characters, the daily stuff. But we're going to set that aside for now. These are just the main characters, right? These flashcards come up and they go, oh, well, you've encountered the Fool. Oh, well, there's the Earth. There's the Earth archetype that you're dealing with. Now, someone comes along and they says, everything is light and love. Now, somewhere in there, your mind knows that you've met every single one of these characters during the course of your life, and you're pretty damn sure that there was something else going on with these people besides this and besides this. And you go, Now, I will admit, when these two come up in a reading, I'm very happy to see them. When this one comes up, I go, yep, things are going to be good. Probably going to be some success involved. When this one comes up, I don't know. Sometimes I go, Here's the problem with love. It takes you and someone else, you and something else. The something, the someone is going to be outside of you, which means it's not in you. In order for there to be love, there has to be you and a thing giving the love. Or the thing giving, so it implies division, which is why traditionally this particular archetype, when it comes up, means that you have a choice to make. There's a choice to make. You can choose the lower road, you can choose the higher road. Usually. Sometimes it means you're choosing between two people, two options, but it usually means that things are outside of yourself. There's a you and an it. And if you guys watched my video yesterday on the number 2 and division, it can be frustrating. Because it usually means the thing that you want is outside of yourself, which always ends up being a frustrating situation. Even in love relationships, that person that you love more than anything, I guarantee you, you take all of the great qualities you've got inside of you and you project onto them. And when you're fighting with someone who's an enemy, you take all of those qualities inside of you that you hate, you project onto them. So usually when it comes to love, or the lovers, some kind of projection's involved. That's why I tend to go, everything's light and love. I don't know. When love is really good, it's different. But I think as we understand it, and as that teaching understands it, it sets us up for something that's outside of ourselves, which a lot of the religions have done to us, which is why I think people get frustrated. They're trying to find their own spirit, which is inside of them, and they are told, well, it's outside of yourself for $19.95. Here's the problem with this one. Though beautiful when it comes up, there is another side to this one. You cannot have light. You simply cannot have light without dark, because there would be no day without night. There would be no night without day. You cannot see the shadows unless there's light, and you cannot be aware that there's light unless there's dark to contrast it. You wouldn't be able to see it. So, in a sense, this is how they operate, just for illustration in this video. Now, if you walk around all day projecting to the world that everything is light and that you are only light, where do you think the dark's going to be? Staring right back at you. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. If you walk around doing this all day, telling everyone everything is this and this, where do you think these are going to go? And when they're staring back at you, this is what they will start doing. Trying to get your attention all day long. And the more you say, there is only this, the more they will go all over your life. Eventually, what happens is this turns outward and gives birth to a bunch of these. The next thing you know, you're a fool needing someone's charity, or you're trying to maintain strength and be easy on yourself, or be calm to yourself, or be nice to yourself, because you're so busy beating yourself up because you've got all these other characters inside of you, because you're not just this, because you're ignoring this. And all day long, this is going to give birth to all these characters and more. If you feel frustrated and stuck and judged, if you feel cheated, and if you feel limited by there's only this and this, maybe it's because you're aware of all of these other characters that make up the world. Which is why, for those of you who know the tarot, the last one in the deck, the last one in the major arcana, is actually the World card. Because all of these are contained in it. And within the world, there is light, and there is dark, and there is something bigger than the world, and something bigger than a galaxy, and something bigger than a solar system, and something bigger than, and bigger than, and something smaller than. You may be feeling cheated, you may be feeling limited, you may be feeling judged, you may be feeling that this is a miracle that is false. Kind of like that celebrity who looks like they're really something. And then you get to know it a little better and you see how they're not all the sparkle that you thought it was. Sometimes when we're told it's all this, we feel cheated because we know it's not true. There's all this too. And on top of that, there's all this too. I'm Lucky Links, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. If you want to schedule a reading, 779-302-8009. If you want to sign up for a class. I have a tarot class, I have a playing card class, I have a scrying class, crystal ball scrying class, and I'll be doing a Mexican Loteria class. You can contact me and I'll tell you the rates and how to go about doing that and what's involved in the class. You can also email me at conjurehope@gmail.com. Remember, it's really beautiful when those cards come up. Those archetypes that come up in your life. When you meet someone who's the sun, it's really beautiful. When you meet the light, it's beautiful. But anyone who's been in the desert for a very long time knows that the moon is sometimes just as beautiful. And sometimes the light shines itself on things that we don't want to see, and we try to contain it, and we shove it down in the dark. And sometimes it's really hard because you just want to experience what you're experiencing. And what's hardest is when someone tells you that your experience is supposed to be one thing and you know it's not. Remember, it may just be that you're experiencing one or more of the rest of these characters, and that your world's a little richer than someone's telling you it should be.